everybody. This is Katrina Robinson, Editor-in-Chief of the News Argus. I'm here with the one and only Chancellor Donald Julian Reaves, one of his final Q&As with the News Argus. So it's nice to be here with you today.
Thank you.
Our first question is, you announced this past spring that you would be stepping down at the end of the fall semester, which is in the middle of the academic year. Why aren't you staying until the end of spring semester, and why are you retiring now?
Good questions. Well, I'm retiring now because I just feel like it's the right time. We are at a point in the process of trying to improve the university where if I were to take on the next big initiative, it would require a commitment of more than several months. It would require a further commitment of several years. And I'm now in my 8th year. And when I came to Winston-Salem State, I committed to staying 5 years. So I tell everybody I'm now in the 8th year of my 5-year commitment.
Right.
So it's really it's time to go. I think we've gotten an awful lot accomplished. I think we've set the stage for the next chancellor, and it's just the right time.
Okay. What was your greatest challenge as chancellor?
I'd say the greatest challenge as chancellor has been getting people to believe in the institution and getting people to believe in themselves. When I arrived, I talked about encountering a culture at Winston-Salem State of what I referred to as low expectations. Not everyone held the university. I had high expectations for the university or for its students, and one of the goals that we set out to accomplish was to change the perception of the university and to change the perception of those who thought that our students were not capable of succeeding. And I think we've done that. I think students feel better about the place. I know the community does. And it's important when you talk about that from the perspective of, what is the value of a degree that you seek. You don't want to attend an institution where where people hold the degree that you hold in low esteem. When you present yourself with a Winston-Salem State University degree, people should say, oh, that's great. He or she attended a school where I know they learned something. And that was the biggest challenge.
Last year's Q&A, you mentioned the demolition of the Fine Arts Building. When will that begin, and when will the music department be able to relocate to Hauser?
You're asking me specific dates. I don't know the specific dates, but we are on the path to do what we call restore the core, which is to restore the core of the campus, and that's where the Fine Arts Building sits. Now, I know we've made progress towards that because we opened the Student Success Center, and in opening the Student Success Center, we emptied out Hauser. And so I believe that the next step would be to begin work on Hauser.
Okay. What classes would you teach next semester?
Well, it won't be next semester. It will be the next academic year.
Okay.
I am entitled to a year's sabbatical, which I would certainly need, given that I haven't taught since 1993. When were you born, Robert?
92.
92, okay, so I haven't taught since 1993, and I will certainly need to retool. But I was actually talking last week to the dean, to Corey Walker, about that.
Okay.
And I'm leaning towards teaching a course on not-for-profit financial management, given that that's what I did for almost 20 years before coming here. I was the chief financial officer at Brown University, and I was the CFO at the University of Chicago. And my job was to manage the finances of those two not-for-profit organizations, one of which had 5 hospitals attached to it. So, and I like to think that there's a science to doing that, and I would like to teach that. So that's probably number 1 on my list.
Okay.
The dean, on the other hand, has something different in mind and would like me to teach, I think, a large section of American government, which I might consider doing.
Okay.
The right decision.
All right. So what about the merger? Let's talk about the most important thing.
Okay, the merger. See, people get the merger. People are confused about the merger, and they look at the $1.2 million savings that derive from the merger. But that wasn't the primary motivation for doing it. The primary motivation for merging things was to bring about a marriage, so to speak, between the courses in business and in education that people think of as being a professional curriculum and the liberal arts curriculum. We are absolutely convinced that the best students coming out of college today are those who have a liberal arts education, whether they are teachers, whether they are in business, or whether they are in arts and sciences. A major exposure to the liberal arts is the best training that you can possibly get as a student in the 21st century. The faculty would not have done it had we not brought about that consolidation, because the business school sees itself in a silo, the education school sees itself in a silo, and as long as they see themselves independent of everything else, they're not going to collaborate to the extent that you need. The best thing that can happen to a business student is that they take courses in the liberal arts. The best thing that can happen to a teacher is that they take courses in the liberal arts. Now that they're housed under one dean, that will happen.